The liberal globalist order just got a huge punch in the gut. Today, 24 nations led by the Russian Federation just kicked Biden and the bullies in Brussels straight in the teeth. And the liberal world order that they claim to be such defenders of is, as of today, at the brink. And by the end of this video, we're going to find out precisely why OPEC did what they did and why the globalist world order is about to fall. You are not going to want to miss this. All right, let's talk about what happened today. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, better known as OPEC, is made up of 14 member nations, but also has another 10 nations who are oil exporters who, while not formally members, do attend the annual OPEC meetings. They contribute expertise and advice. They coordinate prices together. And collectively, these 24 nations are referred to as OPEC Plus. And one of the key nations in OPEC Plus is, of course, the Russian Federation. Now, what happened today is that Saudi Arabia and Russia, acting as the de facto leaders of OPEC Plus, got the organization to agree on cutting oil production by 2 million barrels a day. That's 2% of global oil production in order to force a global increase in the price of oil. Now, what's so controversial here is that was explicitly done in response to the blitzkrieg of Western sanctions imposed on Russia that have attempted not only to sink the ruble, but also choke off the massive revenue Moscow reaps from their sale of crude oil. But up until today, both Bumble and Biden, as well as Europe's liberal globalist leaders, have been urging OPEC nations to produce more oil and ease gas prices, both to relieve their respective populations' pain at the pump, not to mention their rising heating prices with the coming winter, and to also hit Moscow in the pocket as a further sanction against their war in Ukraine. OPEC, in effect, told both Biden and Brussels to shove it. Even CNN is admitting this is a horrific humiliation for the Biden administration. OPEC nations have, with these actions, announced that they are thoroughly on the side of Russia, as we on this channel have always argued they would be. And they are clearly exploiting this moment of astonishing Western globalist weakness as a further opportunity to continue the massive recalibration, the tectonic shift currently happening in the world political order away from the woke West and instead towards the more traditionalist, post-globalist Eurasian East. And they're doing it in a way that's exploiting the inherent weakness of the globalist system, particularly the system advocated by the World Economic Forum in Davos. Now, we've talked about this in other videos. The world, in effect, runs on finance, food, and fuel. Finance, food, and fuel. Up until this point, the Davos types and the liberal governments in Western nations believed that if you controlled finance, you controlled the banks, as it were, you controlled the world. Russia's taken the opposite position. Putin believes that he who controls food and fuel is the one who controls the world. And that's because you can't eat currency. You can't eat paper money or use digital money to heat your house. He who controls food and fuel controls the world. And so what we're witnessing right now with the crisis in Ukraine at the center, we are witnessing a clash between two fundamentally different visions of the economic world order. One which believes that cash rules the world, and the other that believes commodities rule the world. And that is the real war, the real clash that's happening at this very moment. And as of today, who do you think just won that war? Obviously the ones who control fuel, because he who controls fuel controls food, and he who controls food controls the world. Welcome to the collapse of the currency-based liberal order. They're not calling the shots anymore. The commodities-based world order is now fully calling the shots. And at the head of that commodities-based world order is one Russian president, Vladimir Putin. And this explains exactly why they did what they did today. We're going to see exactly how what Putin and OPEC did today guarantees the fall of the liberal world order. But this, of course, means that we have to get our own finances in order, and that's why you need to click on that link below and visit the sponsor of this video, and that is the amazing company called Replace Your University. Our dear friend Michael Lush is showing patriots by the thousands how you can build your own personal parallel economy so you're no longer dependent on woke businesses without worrying about your financial future. He's even going to show you how you can pay off your mortgage in 5 to 7 years. I'm serious. It's amazing. Check them out. Click on that link below and book a free consultation call. Michael, he's one of us, and he's here to serve you. He would love to chat with you. So what's happening right before our very eyes is Putin and OPEC are setting the stage for the fall of Europe's remaining liberal governments. We've already seen it with Sweden, with the election of a nationalist populist coalition. And of course, just a couple of weeks back, we saw it in Italy with the most right-wing and, yes, relatively pro-Russian government elected in decades. We're seeing it with Orban's Hungary. We're seeing it with Serbia and the like. Everywhere we look, liberal globalist governments in Europe are on the brink. Even French President Macron just saw his majority crushed in parliament because of the rise of the populist national rally. The skyrocketing oil and fuel prices that will beset Europe over this winter are almost guaranteed to result in massive political upheavals. Nationalist populist parties throughout the continent are poised to win and win big. And once they do, the liberal globalist order will effectively have come to an end. They'll storm the European Parliament in Brussels. They'll dramatically change the political and economic policies of their respective nations. And liberal Europe will have, for all practical purposes, fallen. That is what today was all about. A new world order is rising from the ashes of the fall of globalism. As always, make sure to definitely smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on Facebook collapsing. Its offices are closing. Thousands of employers are getting laid off as this big tech giant implodes. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.